All right, Shalom family. We back at the beginners training. We're gonna try to stay in 10 minutes. Last time we went a little bit over, but this is something that is can help everybody that's just starting learn on a every other day basis. So every 2 days or something like that, I'm gonna be dropping these scriptures. So it'll give you maybe 2 days or so just to look over them to understand them, and then we will have a test or quiz coming soon. If you want the documentation in order to follow along with what I'm gonna be going, that's fine. I ask y'all to bear with me. I'm watching my little baby right now, so you might hear in the background, but that's all good. All right, so we have done with the authority of the scriptures and how we find out. So now it's important for us to, if we're going to find out who Israel is, then we have to understand. The first thing I had to understand is if they're under the blessing or the curse. Because when somebody first brought this to me, I said, okay, well, I thought the Jewish people was always the people because they seemed like they was considered blessed. They own all this type of stuff. So I was like, how can we be the people? Because we're not the most blessed people on earth when it comes to material things. So I had to see, is Israel under the blessing or is they under a curse? So now we're going to go to the scriptures that prove that Israel broke the covenant. So it's important when you identifying who Israel is, you have to let people understand that they set up a covenant. This thing is about a covenant, and they broke the covenant, and the consequences of the covenant is on the people. And you can identify the people by the consequences that their generations are going through. So let's keep going. First place you need to go is Daniel chapter 9, verse 10 through 16. Daniel chapter 9, verse 10 through 16. Let's look at what it says. It says, neither have we obeyed the voice of our Elohim to walk in his laws, which we set before us by his servants the prophets. Yea, watch this. All of Israel have transgressed our law. So we see that the nation of Israel transgressed the law. Let's look at what happened. Even by departing, that they might not obey the voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon them. So now, the way we're going to be able to identify Israel, because we got to look at the consequences of disobedience, which is a curse. But these consequences are poured upon them. And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of our God, because we have sinned against him. So, where's that law or where's that oath written? You have to go back to Deuteronomy 28. And he have verse 12. He have confirmed his words which he spoke against us. Where did he speak those words against us? Go back to Deuteronomy 28. And against our judges that judged us by bringing us a great evil, for under the whole heaven have it not been done as what's been done to Jerusalem. So this lets you see when people try to say that all people that been through stuff, all people that had slavery and different things like that. We believe the Bible, and the Bible said that nothing on earth has been done like what's happened been done to the people of Jerusalem. And this is not just speaking of just one time during Daniel time, but it's speaking on the people's generation, throughout their generation. No generation of people have been through what these people have been through because they broke the covenant. And this is why these people are going to receive the promises. Verse 13, as it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil has come upon us, yet made we not our prayer before the Most High, our Elohim, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand our truth. So, what's the point of these consequences to the seed? Verse 13 says it. It says that this evil came upon us that we may pray before our Elohim, that we may turn from our iniquities and then understand the truth. So, this is what we're doing now. We praying before the Most High, we turning from our iniquities, and we're trying to understand the truth. Because what? We was born into a deception. We're not waiting on the deception to come. The deception was here 2,000 years before any of us was born. So we are in a deception and coming to the truth. We've been birthed into the truth, and we're trying to understand the truth, according to verse 13. Verse 14 says, therefore the Most High watched upon the evil and brought it upon us. For the Lord our Elohim is righteous in all his works which he doeth. For we obeyed not his voice. Why did it say it's righteous? Because he's a man of his word. If he didn't perform what he spoke, he could not be our God. So what he did and what came upon us was righteous because we broke the covenant. If you want more understanding of how serious the covenant is, look at our playlist videos of ancient Eastern blood covenants. Jeremiah 11 and 10. This is another proof that we broke the covenant. And watch how it says. Verse 10. They are turned back to their iniquities of their forefathers, which refused to hear my words. And they went after the gods to serve, after other gods to serve them. The house of Israel and the house of Judah have broken my covenant, which I made with their fathers. So we see that the generations turned back to iniquities that their forefathers was doing. So this is something that is continuous. You can see that through this scripture. And they said they refused to hear his words, and they served unto God in both houses, Israel and the house of Judah. It's letting us see more scriptural evidence that Israel broke the covenant. They are not under the blessing. Isaiah, so if anybody tell you the Jewish people are the people because they're blessed, they're lying and they're not following along with scripture. Isaiah 42, 23 through 25. Who among you will give ear to this? Watch this. Who will hearken and hear from the time to come? Verse 24. Watch what he did. Who gave Jacob up for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? And did not the Lord he against whom we have sinned? For they will not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Verse 25. Therefore he poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of the battle, and he has set on him a fire around about. Yet he knew it not, and it burned him, and he laid it not to heart. Isn't that our condition? We're in this land. We was going through things for centuries, for years. All this stuff was supposed to get our attention to make us to ask why. But all this stuff is happening, and like in verse 25, it says, "It's a fire around about us, yet we knew it not, and it burned us, and yet we laid it not to heart." We ain't even thinking about this. We so busy with our everyday lives. See, this is important. The Most High is trying to get our attention. And when you see the term Israel and also seeing the term Judah, you'll understand as you read that with King Solomon, when he went against the Most High split the kingdom. The 10 northern tribes, it was 12 tribes of Israel, the 10 northern tribes, is the northern kingdom that was known as the kingdom of Israel, and then the southern kingdom was Judah, which was the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Benjamin, and also with some of the Levites with it. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so we see that Israel broke the covenant. Now we're going to make sure and see, is this something or consequences is going to be throughout their generations? Is this prophetic curses is going to be prophetically throughout their generations? You must put a star by this scripture. Understand it, keep it with you. This is something that proves your identity, proves who you are, proves that this happened from all the way the time of Moses and them, all the way down to us. This is the scripture you go to show that this thing was continuous. It doesn't have a one-time fulfillment. Every captivity that the prophets prophesied must come to pass. And how we know this the last captivity? Because all the other captivities had already been fulfilled before this one. But this is the captivity that the Messiah Christ prophesied. And we'll get to that in the next video. He prophesied the captivity that we're in. There's no other captivity that's been prophesied after this one. But Deuteronomy 28:45 through 46, please mark this. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. So watch what it says. All these curses shall do what? Come upon thee. Come upon thee means it's going to come upon you while you're in the land. So you're going to have curses that are for the land when you're in there. And then you're going to have curses when you pursue, which was when you leave the land, when you're in other lands. It's a remnant of these curses that's going to hit you, they're going to find you, and they're going to overtake you till you be destroyed, because you did not hearken not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments, his statutes, which he's commanded thee. Now, this is an important verse. Watch this. After we know that it's curses for the land and curses outside the land when we are scattered, watch verse 46, what it says. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder. What is a sign? A sign shows what something is. A sign is evidence. So you can read, and they shall be upon you. What is they? The curses shall be upon you for evidence and for a wonder, which is amazement, which is bewilderment, which is like, it's crazy that this is happening. And it shall be upon thy seed forever. So what is that saying? It shall be throughout your generations. Let's keep going. Now we're going to see what was going to be happening to get them out of the land. So they had curses that hit them while they was in the land, and then they was going to have curses that hit them when a nation came and took them out of the land. Verse Deuteronomy 28 to 63, verse 64. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoice over you to do you good and multiply you, so the Most High will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And you shall be plucked from off the land which thou goest and possesses. So you getting off the land. So now the curses that are coming upon you when you're scattered different places, they're going to find you and pursue you. Verse 64. And the Most High shall scatter you among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. We'll come back to this later, but letting us know that we was going to be scattered where among all people, from one end of the earth where they was at, and then to the other end of the earth, which is the western hemisphere. We were scattered on the eastern hemisphere through all the captivities from Assyria, Persia, Greek, Rome, Arabian, and then we had to get kept in captivity on the Western Hemisphere, which was be the Americas and European nations. So we'll see here that these are important verses to know. Now, this is the last slide. Let's let you see the first place that we see that this is happening is in the book of Judges. Don't skip and go straight to Assyria. Let people see that the way that this is consistent, because it happened even before Assyria. When Israel messed up, the Most High brought a whooping stick in to whoop them. So let's look at the book of Judges. When you on your own time, go to Judges chapter 2, verse 14 through 15. Judges chapter 4, verse 2 through 4. Judges chapter 6, verse 1 through 6. Judges chapter 10, verse 7 through 8. And Judges chapter 13, verse 1. And you can keep reading in Judges and you will see it. But it's important to show people that it just was not a fulfillment with the Assyrians or the fulfillment with the Babylonians, but it was a fulfillment throughout their generation. You'll see how much this is a jewel when you get challenged by people that try to say, well, all these things was fulfilled in the Bible through the Assyrian and Babylonian captivity. You say, no, let me take you to Judges and let you see this was coming before the Assyrians throughout their generations. So after the book of Judges, then you had the Assyrians that came and got the northern kingdom, the Babylonians that came and got the southern kingdom. You can do your own homework and find out where that's at in the scripture. I don't want to give you everything. The Persians also came and put them in captivity after the Babylonians. And then the king of Persia, which is Cyprus, he let them go back into the land. And then the Greeks came and brought them into captivity. Then during Christ's time, they was in captivity of the Romans. And after Romans, then the Arabs came and put them in captivity. And after Arabs, you have the Europeans, which is Portugal, all your European nations, and the American nation. So we are 10 minutes in the scripture. I don't know if I went over time or not, but we're going to end it right there. Hope that this, please look at this, study this, because you're going to have a quiz on this pretty soon. If you need the documentation on this so you can follow along, just email me at HebrewNationBuilding@gmail.com. Shalom.